It's only been a short tournament, so this is the last of the Chronicles of English summers, and we couldn't have chosen a better day for it. This is a fabulous English summer day, and when you get cricket as well, then you couldn't ask for more. So let's go back. We're in 2007-8. I'm by then the front man for ESPN Star. I've been for a while, get to do all the interviews, feel mighty important some days, a little deflated on others. And I'm doing commentary one of these days in Birmingham, and I get a little note saying, "Tea Time Show with Mick Jagger." I said, "Oh, Mick Jagger. Problem is, I know Mick Jagger's Rolling Stones. I know that Mick Jagger's this very society person whose, dare I say, off the stage exploits were very famous. But I didn't follow the Rolling Stones. I didn't know any of the songs. And I said, right, I need to get out of this very quickly to prepare for that interview." Then it was slipped in quietly that, A.R. Rahman is also going to be there. And I said, thank God, at least I'm familiar ground here. Roja, Dil Se, Bombay, I'm feeling much better here. And then the brief came in that there's this fusion album, Mick Jagger, A.R. Rahman, Bob Marley's son is on it, and there was another famous woman singer. Western music was not my cup of tea, so I didn't quite know. But the four of them are putting together an album, and the great Mick Jagger is coming in at tea. There's one other thing I knew about Mick Jagger as a cricket fan. Back in the late 90s, he couldn't watch cricket, so he set up his own internet company called Jagger Internet Works and, well, just bought the rights. If you're rich and powerful, you can do these things, can't you? So I've prepared a little bit and I've gone in there, and then there comes Mick Jagger. He's wearing a sort of slightly pinkish linen jacket, and he sits there and he looks at the camera from every angle, and there's his assistant there, and he's, "Am I all right?" It's those kind of moments, you know what I'm getting at? But very, very polite and professional once we started. And I'm talking a bit about cricket, I'm talking a bit about the Fusion album, I'm talking about everything. And then finally we come to a break, because post the break I'm talking to Rahman. Where was A.R. Rahman in all this? While Mick Jagger has his whole army of people around him, A.R. Rahman was sitting on a tiny little stool just behind the camera all by himself like this. Just sitting quietly, simple South Indian fellow sitting there like this. So as soon as Mick Jagger was finished, he's gone. We're in the break. A.R. Rahman comes he sits next to me. I've only met him once before. And I said, thank God. I said, at least I know a lot of your music. I've been a big fan. I didn't know anything of Mick Jagger's music. I never heard any. And he just quickly looked around and said, "Between you and me, I hadn't heard a single song either." And I said, oops, A.R. Rahman's never heard of Mick Jagger. There's a story in itself. But the biggest story was what was happening outside the box. David Lloyd, who's with Sky Sports, is pacing up and down, and he came up to me and said, "You did an interview with Mick Jagger." He said, "Never misses shows." Jonathan Agnew of BBC Test Match Special is pacing up and down. None of them get the interview, only Star does. Why? Because the Fusion album is being launched also in India. So you get these wonderful little anecdotes from time to time. Always easier with English people because they understand cricket as well. But I remember 2007-8 for much more than Mick Jagger. I remember because India won a test series, and it's not always that I've been on overseas tours where India has won a test series. That phase under Rahul Dravid's captaincy is not much talked about in our cricket. He was an outstanding cricket captain for India. But the moment of the tour for me came here at this ground. We're at the Oval. We're watching from there up in the media center there. Right behind me, this is the change room. Anil Kumble is inching towards 100. Ian Chappell and Shane Warne are exchanging messages about whether he's going to get to 100 or no. Shane Warne's got a few 90s in there, and when he finally gets 100 with a dab down to third man with the clumsiest shot you will see, it was one of the most popular hundreds ever scored by an Indian. But right down there in their dressing room, they have absolutely collapsed in laughter. But laughter born out of happiness. He's a lovely man, Anil Kumble, and that century. He didn't score another, but that was the only 100 scored on the tour, and he never forgot to remind all the batsmen about it.